Hey, welcome back, or welcome the first time to the Two Dads Review podcast. Thank you for those who listened to our original trailer podcast that went out a few days ago, right before the Game of Thrones premiere. We're coming at you today with the episode one recap and our thoughts and feelings and emotions on what was a pretty good episode. My name is Clay. I'm one of the two dads. The other dad on the call is
I'm Corey.
Corey. He's dad too. Um, right.
I don't know.
That's
I
how
don't
we.
know what kind of.
Hence
I don't know
the
what kind of
name.
intro you were wanting to come in there. I'm Corey.
We're new at we need some sort of sound effects for that. So yeah, we both have already watched the show. We've taken notes on it. We've discussed it a little bit, but now we're ready to really dive into it. But before that, we'll do a spoiler-free review for the four of you in the world who still haven't seen it yet. Uh, what'd you think? What'd you think overview of the first episode, Corey? What'd you think? How did you think it turned out?
I mean, I think it was a good make you kind of salivate for episode two. I don't think it was a big wow episode in any way, shape, or form, but it definitely brought back enough old familiar hands, so to say, and uh, some
It tied a
some
few
people.
strings up at least.
Yeah,
A
there
little
was
bit
a
of
few things.
vengeance.
Yeah, there was a few things coming together, and you were getting excited, but as always, it ended too soon, and now I was mad at the episode because it ended.
Right. You're like, why can't we have a 2 hour premiere?
Yeah,
So it'll
yeah.
solve a
Why?
few
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
Just drop
Yes.
episode one and two. Yeah, I know. Just so yeah, I agree. I'd give it if I were to score it. I'd give it a solid B to a B plus. There was a few times where I was clapping at the screen because it was something cool happened.
Yeah. I,
So
I almost wish they'd have done these last episodes as like a mini series. Just give me like three big 3 hour productions, and I'll watch
yeah,
them all.
right. What are what is this like Britain is like British television because they have their 6 and 3 episode series.
Yeah,
Those
like Sherlock. Yes.
exactly right.
Yeah,
All right,
give
so
me
we'll
give it to me that way.
go ahead. Yeah, we'll break into spoiler territory now though. We'll start with okay. So everybody, so spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the episode, stop listening, go watch it, come back and listen to the rest of this. But for all of us who have already watched the episode and are just waiting with bated breath as to what my and Corey's opinions are on the episode, here it goes. So first question: what did you think when they didn't start with the song in the opening credits?
Didn't even notice that.
Didn't that is what because I
Did
was all
not
hyped.
did
The
not even
HBO
notice that.
the black and white fuzz came up and I was like, here it goes, get rowdy, here comes the music, let's see where we're gonna go. And then we're like, we're at the twins. Like what the shit? Balder Frey. So we go through this big whole spiel of him toasting to all the important Freys that have gathered, every single one. I mean, from every corner of Frey world. And of course they're all poisoned and they all die. And in true Tom Cruise style, like Mission Impossible style, Arya rips the
Yeah, that
face
was
off, and of
all the
course it's
important
her.
families.
And the other girl just stands there and
Yeah.
stares at her, and Arya drops some. Arya drops. I mean, just give the girl a mic to drop because it was she. I think
Yes.
she said, "The North remembers. Winter came for House Frey," and I was just like, I stood up, started clapping in my basement. I was like, that was. I was like, "Go on, girl!" And then they kicked the music in. I was like, "Touche." Like, well done. I was like, it's all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Wrap that stuff up.
I think Mouse and I high fived. We were like, yeah.
That's like an entire family, like of the seven families, like gone,
Yeah.
just gone.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever seen dominoes fall? Like that was it. That there
That's
just
more.
was.
That's more like. No, that's more like when my son pushes the entire chunk of dominoes off the table onto the floor. There was no falling; it just all crashed at once. Yeah, that was
Awesome.
nuts. Good opening scene though. Yeah. So okay. So second scene came in. We are north of the wall, and all you see is just white with with this cloud of snow dust just billowing, and once again all of us seasoned people go, well, that's the entire White Walker army, and nothing too, I don't know, nothing too new to it. The only thing that I noticed really new that I'm not sure they had done before is that they actually have giant White Walkers. They have the giants that die up north also come back as White Walkers, and that to me is really scary because White Walkers being, if we're going to compare them to like zombies, they have the unnatural speed. So I want to see a lumbering giant White Walker running at zombie speed at that size. That scares the piss out of me.
Yeah, but is it one of those things where like, okay, so Dragon Glass takes out White Walkers.
Right.
So,
And Valerian Steel.
yeah.
John's,
So
yeah.
okay, so it's like, but is it like one of these things where you don't need to have a more powerful weapon to drop, like, say, a tiny White Walker or a large White Walker? Like, if I guess like if you slash him in the leg with it, would he just crumble because it's the almighty,
Dragon
slayer of White Walkers? Is like that one touch. Are we playing Golden Gun and Golden Eye with it? Like, is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. That's
Yeah.
okay. That's fine because they
No,
can just.
Well,
they
then
can
I
just
was gonna
attach that
say, then the giants aren't really that scary. Like, you could just put like shards of dragon glass in the ground, and like the White Walkers could step on it, and they're all just blowing up all over the place.
Did you just ruin the entire show? That's a fantastic idea. I hope. I mean, hey, trademark that. That's a great idea. We don't need to make weapons. Just have them run across dragon. It's like Die Hard, like with the window. It's just straight, just walking across the glass. Game over. I mean, what else are we gonna fight against?
Yeah,
So
like that's
a really good idea.
That's my curiosity. Like, how strong is it? Like, because when the White Walkers I've seen get hit with them, man, they instantly just boom, like they're just kind of gone.
That's a good idea. I don't even know where to go with that. That's fantastic. I can't wait to see if that gets some sort of defense. Needs to be, spikes around the castles, or some sort of, pop up defense that they pull when the whole line gets close.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Even like one of those little like shards of glass things you see on office buildings that are like to keep pigeons off. Just something like that.
Nice. Very true. Good points. Let's see. After we saw the whole giant slew of White Walkers marching south, we have Mira and Brandon Stark pretty much just knocking on the wall, like, "Hey, can we come in? Like, please?" And they're like, "Who the hell are you?" And
oh yeah,
Brandon's like,
I love how in the Game of Thrones universe, how like it is so bad out there on the other side of that wall that a little girl and a crippled in like a snow cart, who have obviously like just been through shit, like get pulled up, and like 5 grown men are still like, "Nah, homie, what the fuck y'all want?" Like, it's not like, "Oh, hey, can I help you? Have you been there?" Like, no, you're from out here. You're obviously deadly. What do you want?
right. I don't care that one of you can't even walk.
Yeah,
you two could be crazy ninja mass murderers, and we wouldn't know this until it was way too late.
Yes.
And we've let you into our home.
Yeah.
And then Brandon pretty much drops the gold card of Westeros, which is like listing off all the shit about the Starks, and they're like, "Okay, cool." Last time I heard that, John was saying shit like that. So, well, you just come on in. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, last guy we didn't believe was like the greatest thing we've ever seen, and now he's gone. So just come on in. So they let him in, and let's see what else happens. We stay up north. John's having a rowdy pep talk, which I didn't care that he was speaking. I cared that Lyanna Mormont got to speak a whole bunch, and she got to pretty much call a bunch of guys like, we all have to fight. Like, I'm not gonna sit around and be knitting some shit while you guys are doing this. And don't forget who I am. I'm friggin' Lyanna Mormont, and I will rip all y'all new asshole verbally. And now I'm gonna learn how to fight with a sword, which I just can't wait to see her in battle. I mean, she's probably not gonna make it very far, but it's gonna be fantastic because she is my favorite character by far in the entire show since we saw her last season.
Yeah, but she got the nod from the old dude after she put him in his place. Like he was like, "All right, yep, I respect it." Like I don't think you're gonna see her fight at all.
Nah, probably not. But
Not
it would
one
be
fight.
fun because she's awesome. I
Or
need her command. That's fine. I need her on a horse commanding an entire
or
cavalry.
you like
That's fine.
when you yeah, or if you do see her fight, it's gonna be something like one of her like it's gonna be like that old like the guy that gave her the nod is about to get like struck down and she's gonna like slash the
Saved
dude and
him.
then like stab him, and then like he's gonna save him and then he's gonna be like, yeah, high five. Okay, you're actually we should let women do stuff. They can do things like us. You're right. You're
You
right.
weren't just all talk, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Let's see, and a little bit of infighting between brother and sister, bastard brother and sister. She felt like like questioning him in front of everybody, which is like 101. Like do that stuff behind closed doors, folks. Like don't be showing any sort of you know disillusion between leadership in front of everybody, which he calls her out for later. And then he also during that big meeting decides not to kill a teenager and a 10-year-old, which is nice. The two families that had turned on them for the he's like no okay we're fine. We need everybody,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's cool.
okay,
It's cool that he can go ahead.
like Sansa is like I really like her, but I also really, really, really hate her at the same time because there's just been a lot of times where you go, if you would have just like shut the hell up, like half of this crap like wouldn't even have been brought upon you, but yet you keep continually like trying to root yourself into something that you shouldn't be in. Like now her with like John, I don't think it's like that. Like I think she's really trying to like help John and also better herself at the same time. But like a lot of her stuff that was going on with like Joffrey and like I know Joffrey was a dick and stuff, but some of those times you just wanted to go, hey, if you would have just stopped talking to that crazy psychopath right then and there, like he probably wouldn't have slapped you. But he's a crazy psychopath and you decided to push his buttons anyways. Like what the hell is that all about?
Well, it took her a long time to break. It took her a long time to break her pretty princess unicorn world view of everything, and when it finally did break, I think she got smarter. And don't forget, and I can't remember if she mentioned it or if I saw it somewhere else, but don't forget who she learned all that she knows from now. She learned
Well,
everything
yeah,
she knows from
sir,
watching Cersei.
yeah, no, and like I want her to be ruthless like that, but I want her like I feel like she always picks the most like the stuff with John. Like she always picks the most inopportune time. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the stuff she did with like Joffrey or some of the stuff she did with the other psychopath, like it was the worst time to bring up like said thing, and I was like, you just have the worst timing ever. Like you don't know when to like make your move. And I think now like she's trying to play Littlefinger and John and like I don't like now I think
I
she's
don't think
just
she knows. I don't think she knows which side to go with, and I think that she is looking down on John a little bit because I think she sees and is rightly so. She saved his ass in the Battle of the Bastards. Like they were done if her guys hadn't rolled in. So the fact that they picked him over who actually saved everybody, I'm sure irks the crap out of her. And Littlefinger's like, and I was almost there, and then I wasn't. He's like, damn it. He's like right there. So, I think she's still good. I think she's definitely, if she hasn't chosen a side, she's definitely playing both sides on purpose. She's gonna push her bounds on each side, and she's gonna see where she can come out on top.
and like
Best.
and that's what I'm saying. Like and that's the dumb stuff she always does. Like just you know like I don't know. I guess if like I was in that situation and just looking at what I'm looking at across the board, like knowing what she knows, like I don't understand why you just wouldn't be like, yeah, John is obviously the right choice. Like make your allegiance and like get him in on the same page, going like, hey, we're gonna use Littlefinger till this, da 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 da. Like, and I'm pretty sure John would be like, yeah, that's a really smart idea. This is great. But no, she wants to like not tell John and then try to like kicking the door when it's time to be quiet, or
Right.
like be quiet when she should be speaking up, and it's going, why? Oh, you're always
Well,
doing it wrong.
I think when she finally picks who she's going to side with, she'll tell that one to play the other. I think is what will end up happening. Now, like I said, I don't think she's chosen it yet. But here, we'll move on. That's some very
Okay,
good
yeah.
points. We're moving on to the next scene, which isn't a major one, but it's kind of interesting, and that's the one with Cersei and Jaime in the map room. I mean, it's got a map on the floor, so we're gonna call it map room because I have no better thing to say for it. And the only thing I really took out of this, it's the only one of the only times I chuckled in the entire episode when she's like, "I'm the queen of the seven kingdoms," and he's like, "No, actually, like three."
Oh
Really,
yeah.
because like, because like,
3 at best, maybe 2. Yeah.
right. So they had their, we lost all of our kids, but at least I'm the queen, and the prophecies has come true up until we figure out who the pretty one was, and then for perfect time, this is the parts of Game of Thrones that bug me, is because there's no way that you had this giant, heartfelt, emotional conversation, and then suddenly walked outside, and there comes Euron Greyjoy's boats, like to put your point, like to put the exclamation point on your whole conversation with your brother early, like it just happened. Like I was like, so how long between that conversation and when they're standing out on the balcony looking at the ships, we did that? Like that, it's just perfect timing. I was like, that's fine, but I'll let it roll through. I'll let it roll
Well,
by.
I mean, you got to, like, there's just no other way. Like, it in a TV universe, it has to be convenient like that. I mean,
Of course.
the only thing in Game of Thrones that genuinely bothers me till the show is lost in time. I don't understand how 2 people can push open those giant doors in every fucking castle or every giant entryway
Good,
they go
good
into. I'm
hinges.
going, one of those beams is like 900 pounds alone, and these guys are like the Unsullied are just like, oh, here, let me lean on it, and they just push open. Like, I'm going, no way. There has to be a mechanism to open those things.
It's just good hinges. It's good. It's good craftsmanship.
Dude,
I can't keep a door on a fence at my house.
yeah,
But by
yeah,
God, they could have giant 9,000-pound doors that never
yeah.
rip off their hinges.
I got doors that weigh like less than an ounce that still squeak, but these things over here, man, like a charm.
Right. And then so we move on to Euron, pretty much just parading around the throne room, telling her how great he is, and that he only thing he's missing is a wife or a queen or whatever.
No, dude, that
And
whole scene was sheer golden entertainment.
he is magic.
He was hilarious.
And
like
him and Jaime were fantastic.
Oh yeah, when he made that like offhanded comment when he's like, "And I have 2 good hands," like
that was the best. It's like low blow, dude. Like you're king of the Iron Islands. Like you gotta make a low blow about some dude loses. Come on, man.
hey man,
And then he made some comment about enjoying killing. And then Jaime made some comment about enjoying killing uh, Greyjoys or whatever. I believe was what he said. And that was another chuckle. I forget what the joke was, but it was. I remember laughing. It was something Jaime said.
that was terrible explanation.
I know. I don't know what the joke was, but it was great. I know it was something about killing Greyjoys. I don't remember. And then he leaves because he's gonna bring her back a gift. What happened there? What was he was asking or she was asking for?
Okay. So he was asking her to basically marry him, and she
Right.
was like, no, I don't trust you." And he said, "That's fine, I'll prove it." And he was like, "I'll bring back what was it? An invaluable gift." So I think he's
Right. It was.
I think he's going out on the hunt for
I mean, it's probably
Tyrion.
Tyrion. Yeah, the
Yeah.
thing that she's been
Yeah.
asking for seasons. They kept
Yeah.
dumping. They kept dumping dwarf tiny people, whatever the politically correct term for them are, in front of her, like bags and bags of heads in front of her, and none of them were him. Yes, that could be it.
And it's
It could be.
I believe it's little people.
Oh, are you googling that? Did you check politically correct for? Okay, little people. Gotcha. We're good. Let's see what's next. We go. Oh, the next thing we roll to is the montage of shit pans and book putting away and what other menial tasks is he doing?
No, no, he cleans bedpans and he gags and he cleans bedpans and he gags and he puts books away and he cleans bedpans and he gags and he pukes and he gags and he pukes and he gags and he puts books away and he cleans bedpans and he pukes and he gags. Do that for like another 2 minutes and then you got that whole opening scene.
Yeah, it was straight like 2 straight minutes, and I was like,
And
every time he pulled a bedpan out, it kept getting worse. Like it kept putting more in the bedpan. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
can we?
and the realism of those bedpans, like I kept going, dude, that is really him gagging. Like, that is him really gagging. He's not faking that. Like, he genuinely wants to let it all go right here.
Right, the prop guys didn't tell him what was. Didn't they? They kept putting new stuff in there, so he'd pull it out and just. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah, no idea what was coming his way. Yeah.
That was great. And then he was in there with an autopsy doing. Well, before that, he was staring longingly at the locked books. And then we were like, "What you gonna do, Sam?" And then they had the scene with.
Yeah, what is that Meister? What's that guy's name?
I don't know his name. I do know he's from Harry Potter. If anybody watches Harry Potter, he was one of the professors in one of the later movies. Just saying. But I forget what that actual Meister's name is, but it's okay. It's nice that he believes Sam about the White Walk. Sam's like, I freaking killed one.
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm kind of a big deal where I come from.
But is that he believes him, or is that like he goes, it's him saying I believe you, but it's really bullshit because this war happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and it doesn't matter, like the law still be here kind of thing. So he's like, my belief doesn't really matter at all because even if they come sweeping through and this will be the end of the world, he goes, the world's always still been here.
Right. Yeah, it will come and it will pass, and we'll still be here. There's been winters before, right?
Yeah. It was the most like nonchalant dick answer ever. It was. I was like, dang, man.
And that may have been why Sam just gave up and was like, I'm not. That's why he took the.
Well, yeah, that's definitely why Sam took the books, because it was kind of like the guy lifted him up and was like, yeah, I believe you, and then he just like kicked him in the nuts and just dropped him with the whole like, but your reason for the end of the world isn't any more important than anything else that's ever been the reason for the end of the world,
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then Sam starts reading, and that's always good when Sam starts reading.
Yeah.
So.
And then you find out that the whole first what is her name?
You lost me. What are you talking about?
Then you find out the whole first castle, the
castle by
first dragon castle. Yeah, the first dragon castle. What the hell's the Queen of the Dragons? Like, what's her last name? Help me out
Targaryen.
Here. Yeah, there you go. Like, you find out.
Give me more of a.
Well, I figured dragons would be. There's only one family. Sorry, yeah. So the Targaryens. You find out that their whole first castle is mined under a giant.
Oh, that's
dragon
right.
glass mountain. Yeah.
Yep. So they got to go find that dragon glass mountain, right? Exactly, and that's going to be where they make the dragon glass pikes that they'll put in the floor to then end the battle, Corey style.
Well, that's where she landed.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Yes, she landed there, but see. So what's funny is, okay, so now you get this. Now you can see where the paths are all going to cross because she's landed there. Jaime just said to Cersei, "That's where they're gonna land when the army comes across." And then, what's his face? Just found.
Nope.
No. For John, the Meister guy just found out that first castle. Yeah, Sam is mined on a whole thing of dragon glass. So now you're going to get all these people converging for a war, dragon glass, and another war.
Right, which they really should.
Well,
it'd be great if
that's what I'm saying. Do you all think now it's going to lead to this weird, like, they all catch a glimpse of the White Walkers at the same time, come into this location, and then they're all like, oh, shit.
Right, everybody's facing off to everybody, and then upon the hill you see a cloud of White Walkers, and instead of fighting, they just all just turn and they're ready to rock
Yeah,
and roll or something. Right? Exactly. That would be
yeah,
badass. That'd be the way to go.
yeah. Like I was kind of like, I mean, I don't think it'll end up going down that path. They'll probably end up branching out somewhere. But I was like, well, that would be a crazy convergence if they all had some kind of major epiphany and like they were still fighting the White Walkers, but at the same time there was like the most shadiest game of uh like underground poker going on between like Tyrion, Cersei, the bald guy, Cersei's Meister, they're all just planting who's gonna assassinate who.
Right. That could be cool. So the next part of the show takes us back to Castle Black, and you have Pod and Pod and Tormund's Giantsbane, and why am I blanking on her name right now? The big tall knight lady. What is her name? I'm dying right now. I know everybody's screaming at their devices that are listening to
Oh,
this on right now. Why am I blanking on it?
Gwyneth?
They're
No. No. Oh man,
horrible.
this is
You Google while I
man.
talk about it. All I remember
This
really about the
is
show, about this episode, this scene, was that was
oh
Pod
man.
was getting his ass handed to him the entire time. Like she was sparring with him and kicking his butt, and of course,
Yeah,
Tormund Giantsbane is
oh no, her real name. Oh, yeah, her real name's Gwendolyn. I was okay. At least I was calling her by one of her names, but her name in the show is Brienne of Tarth.
duh. Yeah, exactly. I knew it. It was on the tip of my tongue. All right, but yeah, so Brienne is sparring with Pod, teaching him how to fight more,
Is that at
and
Castle Black? Is Castle?
yeah, they're all there. They're all still there. I believe that. Yeah, they're all still there, unless they didn't. No, because they switched right to Sansa and Littlefinger, so it's all still at Castle Black. But soon, didn't John send, or didn't John just issue the order to send all the wildlings to one of the other castles, Castle by the Sea or something over there, um, where they think the White Walkers are going to come across first? I believe. I don't remember that much detail of it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
So yeah, they're going to man the wall down at the opening
one of them,
first
yeah,
point of the first I guess would be like base station of the wall.
right. And then Sansa and Littlefinger get together. I'm not sure there's a whole bunch that stuck out in my head. When Littlefinger talks, I'm just kind of like, okay, I know what you're doing. You're spinning your thread. You're spinning your whole,
Yeah, I kind
just
of wish
every,
I kind of wish he would just die.
yeah. Well, no, he's too. Yeah, that's just it. He's way too good at what he does to be.
Yeah, but
He's been close a
like
couple
I don't I
times,
don't
but
even want him to die because he's like annoying. I
just
want
want him
him
to fall and slip and hit his head.
No, 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 not even like not even a comical death for such a serious character in the show. And there goes Littlefinger on a banana down the stairs.
Right, right.
But
It's
like
icy
I just
in
feel like
Castle Black.
it's his character's now on repeat. Like he did the thing did this thing with uh Ned Stark's wife. He did it with Cersei. He did it with the army he's in control of now with
Right. The
her
veil.
crazy butt,
Right.
and like now he's trying to do it with Sansa, and it's like you gotta get a new shtick, man. Like
But it's worked so far, so is it going to work now?
but
Yeah,
is it?
I know.
I mean, but is it really? Has he really made any progress? Like I feel like he was actually almost pulling a little bit more weight when he was just still like heading the bordello.
Well, he had control of all of where that was. Yeah. Why am I blanking on names now? We've been talking names for 30 minutes, and now I'm suddenly
Who,
blanking on
who
them.
are you trying to talk about?
No, the King's Landing. He had control of all King's Landing because he had all the horrors, and they
Yeah,
heard all the stuff. And yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Him and yeah. So next scene. Now we're back to Arya again. She's left the twins and she's headed, I'm guessing, towards King's Landing, of course. And literally the first the first 3 words in my notes for this scene are "Good song, Ginger."
Spit it out.
It's like "Good song, Ginger, nicely done." And I remember them saying that Ed Sheeran was going to be in this episode like before it started because it was a whole big thing. And I read somewhere that it was like almost a surprise for Maisie Williams, who plays Arya, because she's such a huge fan of him. So I don't know if like her reaction to seeing him there the first time was like legit, like oh shit, it's Ed Sheeran as a Lannister guard or whatever. But uh, you know, it's a good. They've never been off at the songs they make for this show, and then they throw in somebody who's a known singer, who's just strumming by the campfire. I mean, it's cool. Like I forgot. I'm 37 years old. I don't know. I couldn't pick Ed Sheeran out of a lineup until someone told me who he was. But I'm like, why is the camera on this guy though? It was either on that guy or the guy whose eyes were looking two different directions, which I still think they just put that guy there because Ed Sheeran looks so weird and creepy in the first place. You had to have a creepier looking guy so you weren't like, why are we on this creepy looking ginger the entire time?
Oh
And I'm a
my
ginger
God.
myself, so I can say things about gingers. It's not bad because I'm also a ginger.
Dude,
So no, it was
Ed Sheeran's not that bad of a looking dude, man. Like I think you described like a ginger sloth from the Goonies who got beat with a shovel again. Like,
well, if the shovel fits.
oh good lord.
Hey, this is dad jokes time right now. This is when dad jokes happen on this podcast and this podcast only, or at least hear the best. That's all I'm saying. But it was a cool episode. I mean, it's a cool little scene uh, with no one taking her seriously, which is fantastic. And I'm going to go into this at the end. Remind me to come back to this because there's a question I want to ask everybody who's listening. I want them to tweet us the answer because I saw it somewhere else and I answered it, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a really good question." But I'm coming back to that at the end of the show. Uh,
Okay.
but so good scene. No one takes her seriously. No one thinks that her joke about "I'm gonna go kill the queen." They all laugh it off, and she's like, "Good, laugh it off, dudes. That's fine, because winter's come, y'all. I've already done killed an entire family here, so
No,
leave
but
it be."
you also saw her her empathy for all of those people. You know how they didn't want to be there. They didn't want to fight. Like she.
Right. She didn't just hate all Lannisters. She
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hates
It was.
the ones on her list.
Yeah, you could
Right.
you could tell there was a like. If you join up with me, sure, I'll gladly take you along and go kill the go kill the queen. Like, and you can also see how she felt bad for them that they were even though if they would have known who she was, they were supposed to probably kill her. Like you could tell that
Oh
she
yeah.
was, which also makes you kind of wonder then, like, are you gonna, you're that hardened character you were supposed to gain with the, like, what, the faceless people, or what are the people that have no name, or
Right.
whatever the hell they're called. Um,
House of Black
it,
and White.
yeah, is she gonna get empathetic at the wrong time? And
Who knows?
yeah,
Good
so
question. But it is good that she's not seeing herself as I need to kill. I think she's able to separate. She wanted to kill all of the Freys because they all partook in the Red Wedding. Um, but she realizes from sitting with his crew,
well,
even though she is as skilled of an assassin as she is,
well,
she's not going to take on 7 fully armed guards. Even though she did notice that their swords were all stacked away, and she's like, she probably in that why she felt so comfortable. She's like, I probably could kill all y'all before y'all got to your swords,
oh yeah, well
and just know that,
she
and then sit there and eat her rabbit.
yeah, she definitely could do that. But I thought at the phrase, like, she didn't kill all the phrase. She only, I thought she said she invited all the important members or important.
Right. It's pretty
So,
muach yeah. She
well, I
called
guess,
like the sea level.
I guess that would
of
be a lot. All the phrase. There's not a whole lot going on over there in Freyland.
Right, right. And then we move to the Brotherhood without banners riding along with the Hound, and they pull up on a cabin in the snow, and they all stop by, and of course the Hound hesitates, which I didn't catch on until they had to actually show me like the flashbacks of like where they were. I was
Oh,
like,
you did.
oh, it's that.
Oh, you didn't
I was
realize.
like, that's why they.
You didn't
I was
realize
like,
that's
that's
the same
I
house.
should pay attention, and I should pay attention to the previously on, because they tell you what to remember. They're like, remember this family that was really nice to him?
Yeah.
They die in this. Yeah. I should have known that when they rolled up and there was two corpses. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, dude.
And then of course,
tell you what, dude. Though, if the Hound was like a character in a video game, his stamina would be 100 or 99 because like when that man sets his mind to do something, there is no stopping him, and it is like it's ridiculous. Chops wood the way he digs graves.
Digging graves. I'm gonna dig graves in the frozen ground.
Yeah.
Like, dude, props. I was like, yeah, you get your little hippie man bun out here and help me dig this hole, or at least fill it. Now that I've dug it.
Yeah.
For this family whose house we're using now. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, that was a very cool scene. And then
and he also
we already
found
talked
his
about
cause in the fire, you know, because he stared into the fire now, so he's all a fire believer now too.
Which is wonderfully ironic, and they're didn't one of them make a joke like, "Can you even get that close to the fire?"
Yeah, he said, "Don't worry, it doesn't bite or something like that, or like it doesn't get too hot." Yeah,
right. And then the next scene we can actually really skip over because we talked about it earlier, and that's when Sam was reading the book with Gilly and notices the dragon glass caves or mines or whatever. So we know that's happened next. So that's, we talked about that already. And then he's dishing out food to everybody in the. I mean, at first it's like, oh, it's like a prison there too, but no, it's like a psych ward or like a recovery, hospital type area, and we know from the voice that
that was probably like more like like a leper colony, like
right.
Well,
right.
not like a leper colony, but almost like a hospice section of the hospital, like
right, quarantine area.
Yeah, and that's where we got what's his face is
Jorah Mormont.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's there, and we know what we know that of all, she was like, go find a cure, so he went to, I guess, the most learned place. I didn't look at, from what we talked about last episode, if this is who also cured Stannis' daughter,
the young girl.
So it may be where, because I know they mentioned it also in the previously on Game of Thrones portion of the show. They mentioned that it was stocked by them, so maybe Jorah's got a chance that he made it all the way here to Old Town. So let's see what's left. And the final scene of the episode, you have Dany arriving on the shores of Dragonstone, walking forever to get up to the castle.
And again, two normally sized men opening gigantic stone doors with one hand.
Right, like it's nothing. Not like no one's been there for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Because they've been out warring. Not a lick of dust,
rust, or anything on that place. No way. The sea, air, and water had nothing to do with that stone over there. Perfect.
Exactly, and correct me if I'm wrong. No one spoke the entire scene until the very end, where she said, "Shall we begin?" Right?
Yeah. I pretty much quiet that was scene, and then she gets into that war room. Now, is that the same, or is that the same war room that Stannis was in, or is it just very similar? Like
the one where he was at with the Red Queen all the time?
Yeah. Is that
I don't know if they were at Dragonstone for those scenes, or if he just had a replica table brought with him, like, hey, bring our travel table, because I like the table from Dragonstone.
Yeah, I think
so bring it. Because I think the table from Dragonstone was different, but it was the same idea.
Yeah, and I think, oh man, because there's something about it. I know there's something about the table. I almost feel it's kind of like one of those things, like, like the White House desk. Like, there's one in England too, and they're all tied together, kind of thing. Like, I feel like all those
between all the houses.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, there's something going on with those big war map tables.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess it's all they could have back then with that technology. May as well have everything mapped out. And I'm guessing King's Landing, kind of with that room they were in where the guy was painting it. This is kind of like the poor man's version, or like the not rich person's version of the table. Just carve it out of a big chunk of tree.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe yeah, that's just weird. I don't know.
But it was definitely good ending to an episode. Shall we? It's pretty much the writers and directors and everybody saying, "All right, this is the last stretch. We're on.
Hmm.
We're in. This is the home stretch. We are. We are beginning. We're beginning the end right now." And it was a great. I thought a great first episode. I'm with you on your earlier score when it wasn't there wasn't like where I'm literally deafening myself, hollering at the screen like
Yeah, yeah.
craziness. But that's we can't have that every. And you made a point before we started recording. You were making a point that we may have been so numb because this show is so fantastic and so grandiose, and they're trying to push the boundary every time. Every season gets better and better.
Hmm.
Maybe we're dull. Like maybe this is normally a fantastic episode of any show.
That's what I'm saying.
No
are we,
show
are we
could
so
have put this
jaded
out.
from it now that like this is normally a 10 out of 10, and I just gave it a 7 out of 10 because I was like, oh, you got my attention and made me eager for episode 2, but at no point did you make me go, whoa, and I was like, and how
Right.
dare you not give me a whoa at some point? Like, was
I think our
Jorah
woes are
Mormont's
coming.
hand supposed to be the whoa? Because that's not enough. I need more.
Right, you showed me that shit in the trailers. I know that's happening. I know that's where he is. So yeah, but it was. So for Game of Thrones, it was like a 7 and 8 episode. It was a nice start everything off, get the ball kind of rolling, and we know by episode 5, 6, 7, it's gonna be insane. We know it's just we don't even know where it's gonna go. It's gonna be so crazy.
I think by episode 3, it's already going to be like ramped up. Like you're just, I think from like episode 3, you're going to have like one house start moving with one of the things. 4, you're going to see the next house start moving with, and then like by the time 7 rolls, that's where you're going to see everybody hitting their clashes with what's going on. And then when that ends, you're just going to be like, what? Where did the aftermath? Wait, what? No, I need the new season. I need the new season.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, and don't forget, as of last Sunday night, we had not have a Game of Thrones. We have not watched the Game of Thrones episodes for over a year. Because usually we had like a 10-month. It was like a 10-month stretch, but we usually they kicked off in April, but they had to delay filming because they're filming a lot in the north this season. So we didn't get our first episode till middle of July. So we had over a year since we had seen the last Game of Thrones episode. I thought that was a great little. I was like, oh man, why am I feeling so bad for this? But I realized it hasn't been 10 months. It's been a year and almost a month, I believe. So that's pretty nuts.
Like, I didn't even know that until you mentioned it.
I know. There you go, dropping knowledge. Let's see. I think that wraps it up for us. Okay, so my final question, and so everybody who listens, feel free to tweet at us at.
Yeah, we gotta circle back.
Right, we gotta circle back at 2Dads Review on Twitter, 2Dads Review on Facebook as well, if you can find it. I'm not sure how easy that is to find, but Twitter's the best place. The question for everybody is for this week: of all the main characters, who do you think wields the greatest power right now? Who do you think has the most influence and wields the greatest power, or has the most power? I guess is the best way of putting it. And that we're talking Jon, Sansa, Daenerys, all the main characters. Who has the most power right now? And that's where I want to circle back to what I was thinking. I personally think that Arya has the most power, just because she is nothing to nobody. She does not exist, and therefore she can roll in and be in King's Land or be in Westeros for a few weeks to get to Walder Frey and literally take out one of the 7 houses by herself, and no one is the wiser. People just talking like, and all the phrases.
But Arya isn't in this for the grander scheme like Sansa, Jon,
correct.
All the other families. She's got her list. She's not, but see, she's also on that Terminator style mission. She's not stopping that until her list is finished. So she's basically a wash. Like she's not gonna like the only thing that she's gonna have influence on is if she kills somebody that happens to be part of somebody else. But like, I mean, she's still got dudes on the list from like way back when that like picked on her when she was in the first group or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got, she's busy. Like,
Well, she killed one of them. That was the guy she stabbed in the throat.
yeah, like, I mean, but she's got to go kill the T-1000 Terminator.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you're right. When she finishes her list, she has nothing left to do. I agree with that portion. But as of right now, power wise, everyone else has all these shackles on them from what they can and can't do, but she has nothing. And she can move, and she's been trained, and she can move in and out of
Yeah,
crowds. She can change faces. Man, that's great.
Yeah, but her power's useless because she's only going after people on her list. So if we're talking in the grand scheme of power rankings, like she's a mute point. She doesn't count.
Only if she can't. Evolve after her list is done. You're right. She has nothing but blinders on for her list. But once her list is done,
yeah,
and if someone gets a hold of her and sets her loose on something,
her list is going to carry out this whole way. Like she's going to be on this.
We're
list
not going to see it
until
we'll never see it.
Yeah. So as far as people with like actual power, I think you got to go with the Targaryens, man. Like she's
the Three Dragons will do that.
Yeah, like she's got the dragons, she's got the Dothraki horde, she's got the Unsullied, and the worst part about it is everybody's high-fiving her on the way she comes through. Like she's not doing this like killing everything. Like she's going and liberating and getting backing. I don't think there's anybody out there that can touch her unless the Iron Isles come through and wreck all the Dothraki that are on boats that they hate.
Because yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and you're right. They had to cut through a lot of people to get to her.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And then some dragons. Yeah, agreed. Well, that's good. That's good. So that's good points both ways. Tweet at us at 2dadsreview. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Let us know what you think of the question this week. Corey, where can they find you online? I know you're streaming video game play here and there.
Yeah, you can find me on Mixer with SlothBear35. You can also find me on Twitter at SlothBear352 and Snapchat and SlothBear35 as well.
Nice, SlothBear35 everywhere that matters.
Yeah,
good. I've got to get up on mine. I know. My personal Twitter is rclaystreet that is my Twitter, but I don't ever hardly tweet on there. I'm too busy trying to get this Twitter thing going. So that's pretty much it for me. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and tune in next week. We'll do another review, probably Wednesday. Time frame. It'll probably go up every Wednesday. Is what we're looking like our time frame is going to be. Get all the main stuff out of the way, and you guys can come listen to the little guys talk. But if you've made it this far to the end of this podcast, thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Later.